online class on simple harmonic motions. We have been discussing about the SHM in the last class. Okay, simple harmonic oscillator. In that part, we have discussing the damped oscillations part. In damped oscillations, we have discussed the theory, meaning of damped oscillations. What is the equation for damped force or resisting force? How we get it? What is the value of, what is the meaning of small r, b, and evaluated the equation. So let us recapitulate what are the things we have done in the last class. So just I will share the screen. Okay, are you able to see the screen, students?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Okay, very good, very good. So in the last class, we have discussed the damped oscillations. Okay, damped oscillations. What are damped oscillations? Oscillations which die after some time due to the frictional force or resisting force. They are called as damped oscillations. Example of frictional force may be air medium, inherent friction, that is inbuilt friction or resisting force, any physical disturbance of the system by surrounding environment, and etc. and so on. Okay. Then I have given an example when a spring mass system. This is a spring mass system. In the spring mass system, if it is vibrating in air, it is going to vibrate for a longer time. Why? Because the damping is less. This is for air medium. When there is only airflow is there, so it is oscillating for 300 seconds. So it's less damping. But when I keep a thick oil in the path of the vibrations, such that half of the uh, vibration is in air and other half of the vibration is in the liquid medium. In that case, it is only oscillating for 2 minutes, or it may be for around 120 seconds. So here it is existing for only 120 seconds. It is existing for 300 seconds. 120 seconds because we have added some damping to the system. Damping means friction. So friction may be any time. This is only an example I am giving you. So it may be a generalized one. Okay. So I also defined what is frictional force. Okay, in damped oscillation, the frictional force is directly proportional to the velocity of the particle and is always pointing towards the equilibrium. So frictional force, if I write Fr is equal to frictional force, I can write it as equal to or proportional to minus of dy by dt, where dy by dt is the velocity term, where dy by dt is the velocity of the oscillating particle. Okay, velocity of vibrating or oscillating particle. Oscillating particle. Okay. Now here, if I remove this proportionality sign, you know that you get a new constant, frictional force. Okay. Frictional force, that is equal to, if I remove it, you get minus of r into dy by dt. Okay, where r is the frictional force per unit velocity. Unit velocity per unit velocity, and it has a unit of, what is the unit? Well, unit is kg per second. This is the unit. Okay, got it. Now after that we have derived the equation. Okay, very simple equation. I have taken the example of a spring mass system, and I have explained that the spring mass system is having some damping. We don't know what is the damping, but it has the damping. Okay, so it may be an airflow or it may be a physical disturbance or anything. Okay, so it is oscillating between the point A and B. For that you have to apply a force. Once you apply a force, F equal to this much, and there is a restoring force Fr is generated. Also there is a frictional force. Okay, that is given by minus of r into dy by dt. You have to write down all those equations for applied force. Okay, equation number 1. For the restoring force is already written many times. It is minus of k into y. Y is the displacement. And frictional force, new term that you have to write, that is minus of r into dy by dt. So this is the 3 term, and at equilibrium, okay, the applied force is equal to the restoring force plus the frictional force. You substitute all the terms. On substituting all the terms, you get the equation number 4. This is nothing but the equation for SHM, or to only reorganize it or rearrange it. So after that, you have to substitute r by m is equal to 2b and k by m is equal to omega square. Equation 5 gives you the equation for SHM for a damped oscillation. which is dying. Damped means after some time it is going to die. And the amplitude of vibration, you can make it out, is A into e raised to alpha t. So A and alpha need to be determined. To determine A and alpha t, we have done dy, we have evaluated dy by dt. This is the value for dy by dt. Then again, we have calculated d2y by dt square. This is the equation number 8 for d2y by dt square. And we have substituted y, dy by dt and d2y by dt square in equation number 5. So this is the equation number 5. In 5 we have substituted it and we have got the equation for amplitude. This is the equation for amplitude, what you get. Okay, and we have analyzed this equation neatly. Now keep in mind the amplitude is actually a exponentially decreasing amplitude. Why is a exponentially decreasing? Why? Because it is having an exponential part. A is a constant amplitude. Okay, but here this E is the exponential of minus. So here it is of the form, okay, y is equal to a into e raised to minus b into t, or minus x into t. Therefore here this is exponentially decreasing. Okay, therefore the amplitude die. How they die depends upon the value of b and omega. For that we have analyzed the case of first one. So it is over damping. Okay, it's here. So there are three possible ways, okay, a displacement can happen. Okay, first one is the case when there is a over damping. This is what we have discussed in the last class. So this is equation number 10. This is the equation for displacement. This is the equation for displacement y. Okay, so when b square is greater than omega square, what happens? We have analyzed it. When b square is greater than omega square, the amplitude die off very quickly. The amplitude die off very quickly. Now look here. Sorry, the displacement dies off very quickly. So if you look at the analysis, what we have done, okay, so the it says that the amplitude is going to die very quickly. Okay, it dies off very quickly when b is greater than omega. What is b? B is the damping. B is the damping. Okay, B is greater than omega means it is called as over damping. Over damping means large damping. Okay, this is what we have done. So if the damping is more, it will die off very quickly. For example, I have taken the case of a simple pendulum, where simple pendulum is oscillating in air medium. It is oscillating for 5 minutes. After that, it is going to die. So some damping is there. Okay. Now what I have done, I have introduced a thick oil in a container and placed in its path. The value of B, the damping is very, very large. Why? Because it is denser. So if it is denser means when the bob of the particle, when the bob of an SHM, when it is moving in the liquid, it is facing a lot of friction. Therefore, it is going to die off very quickly. Therefore, this type of oscillations we call it as the over damping. Look at it. It is only oscillating for 30 seconds. Here it is oscillating for 300 seconds. Okay, got it. So example, I have given you the case of a simple pendulum in a thick coil, and the other one is a dead beat of a galvanometer. This you have to find yourself and let me know who can tell me that, okay, in the coming classes. Okay, and here I just forgot to plot the graph. So if I plot a graph of amplitude versus the displacement, so this is a graph. I have to plot a graph of the displacement versus time. This is for over damping. This is the graph what you get. This is the graph. This is for B greater than omega. This is for over damping. Look at it. As the value of T increases, suddenly the damping, the amplitude decreases. The amplitude was this much. You are getting the point. Over the time, what happens? The amplitude dies off quickly. So this is the nature of the equation. After that, let us go for the second one. It's called as critical damping. So second one, okay. So first one is under damping. Let us go for the second one. It is B. It is the critical damping. Second one. Case B square equal to omega square. What happens when B square is equal to omega square? First, you have to write the equation for displacement. What is the equation for displacement we have done? So it is A1 into A1 into exponential of minus b plus root of b square minus omega square into t plus there is second term a2 into exponential of minus b plus root of b square minus omega square into t. So this is equation number 10. This is the displacement equation. Okay. So we know that it is the displacement for a damped oscillation. Now in this case, I have taken b is equal to omega. B square is equal to omega. So what is this b is equal to omega means? What is b is equal to omega? This implies, okay, this implies b equal to omega r, b square is equal to omega square means, okay, it is nothing but the damping is such that it is equal to angular frequency. Okay, so or in other words, I can say it is at a right value. The damping is a certain right value, at a certain right value, correct value, at a certain correct value. Okay, so that is the meaning. Okay, so what happens? Look at this. If I have to substitute the value of this condition b equal to omega, here in the amplitude. What I have to do? I have to do the substitution. Also, there is second part, I have to do the substitution. If I take b equal to omega means b square minus omega square becomes equal to 0. If b is equal to omega square, then root of b square minus omega square becomes 0. If it is becoming 0 means then the equation for SHM does not hold true. Equation for SHM. What is the equation for SHM? It is d2y by dt square plus 2b into dy by dt plus omega square y equal to 0. This is the equation for SHM. So this doesn't hold. Okay. It doesn't hold means it cannot give you the right answer. Therefore, I cannot take this and I have to discard this concept. Okay. Though b is equal to omega, I cannot make b square equal to omega square. I cannot have this condition because it is not holding the equation for SHM. Okay. So in order to overcome this, I have to discard this notion. What is the notion? The notion is that b square, root of b square minus omega square is 0. Therefore, I have to have a new notion. What is that? Root of b square minus omega square is not equal to 0, but it is root of b square minus omega square. Root of b square minus omega square is equal to h, which is almost equal to 0. It is almost equal to 0. You are getting the point. You have to take this into notion and substitute this in 10, and you do the notion and substitute in equation number 10. If you do the substitution for 10, I will get it as y is equal to a1 into e raised to. Okay. Okay. Y is equal to a1 into exponential of minus b root of b square minus omega square. What I have taken root of b square minus omega square? I have taken it as h. Therefore, here in this equation 10, you have root of b square minus omega square. You substitute it equal to root of is equal to h. Therefore, minus b plus ht. This will be minus b into ht. So therefore, y is equal to a1 into e raised to minus b plus root of b square minus omega square, that I have to replace with h. I have to replace with h into t. Okay. Plus a2 as it is second term. It is exponential of minus b plus root of b square minus omega square is h. I have to take it as h into t. So I have rewritten as equation 10. Equation 10. Therefore, equation 10 is this much. Okay. Now here I have to do just simplification. Now it is just mathematics. Okay. Don't worry. Last step you have mathematical steps. So you have to have y is equal to a1 into, you just split it up. So it is minus b into t into e raised to minus of h, sorry, plus ht plus a2 as it is e raised to minus bt into e raised to, it is actually minus ht here. Okay, minus ht. Okay, okay. Why? Because you know that it is minus b. Okay, I have here also written as minus. Sorry. Okay, here it is minus b minus. It is not plus. It is minus b root of minus. Okay. So I have to take it as minus b into minus of ht. Therefore, I have to take it as minus ht. Okay. Now you take the common term. What is the common term here? The common term is e raised to minus bt. So therefore I take the common term e raised to minus bt as it is. Okay. And I will take the first term a1 into e raised to ht plus a2 into e raised to minus ht. E raised to minus ht like this. Okay. Again, I will write it y is equal to e raised to minus bt as it is into a1. Now here I have e raised to ht and e raised to minus ht. You can see here I am marking it. That I have to expand it. It is an power series. Therefore, I can do the expansion as 1 plus ht plus dash dash dash. This is what you get for the value of expansion of e raised to ht plus. I have to write a2 as it is, then e raised to minus ht. I have to write e raised to minus ht. Again, it is an expansion. It is power expansion. If I expand it, so it will give you 1 minus ht plus dash dash dash, and it is going to be like this. Okay. So this is it. Got it? Now here, what I can do is I can rewrite it as y is equal to e raised to minus bt into a1. I will write as 1 plus ht plus a2. I will write it as this is a into 1 plus ht into a2 into 1 minus ht. a2 into 1 minus of ht. Okay. Now what I have done is I have neglected the higher terms. Okay. Because neglecting the higher terms. Okay. Higher term. That means there is actually a power series. If you have e raised to x, it will be x. This is 1 plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial. So I can have 1 plus x, but these factors, no, they are very, very smaller. Why? Because h is smaller. H is almost equal to 0. Okay, therefore, I can only take 1 plus x. Therefore, what I have taken is 1 plus ht is a thing, but due to the neglecting the higher order terms, Okay, so therefore, remember this e raised to x is 1 plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial plus so on. You are getting the point. I have 1 plus x as the larger value. If you go for x square, x cube, these are smaller and smaller. Why? Because if I have x is small, okay, whenever x is small, this is e raised to x is equal to 1 plus x. Therefore, I have used this concept to write this. Okay, got it. So therefore, okay, I will erase this. This is just for your reference. You should know it. Okay. Okay, fine. Got it. Now this is the equation what you get. After that, you have to rearrange it again. Okay. After rearranging, next step is just mathematics. So you have y is equal to, okay, e raised to minus bt as it is. Now you have a1 plus a2. Now here you have take this, you take this term inside the bracket. You take this a2 inside the bracket. So it will be a1 plus a1 times of ht. So I have taken it as a1 plus a2 into plus ht times of a1 minus of a2, ht times of a1 minus of a2, a1 minus of a2. Okay, so this is the equation what you get. Now you have to substitute here. You substitute a1 plus a2 as equal to p, a1 plus a2 is equal to p, and h times of h times of a1 minus a2, h times of a1 minus a2 as equal to q. Okay, if you substitute that equation, therefore the value of y, okay, will become equal to e raised to minus bt into a plus a1 is p, ht as it is, h into a1 minus a2, h into a1 minus a2 is, I have taken it as q, t it is as it is. So this is the equation that I am interested. ನೋಡ್ರಿ ನಾವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರೀಬಹುದಾಗಿತ್ತು. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾಳೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ನಾಗ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ 10 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಮೂರಾಗ ಯಾವ್ದು ಒಂದು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರ. Now I have taken b square is equal to omega square. What is the amplitude to get? This is the amplitude. So let us analyze this. Okay, whenever b square is equal to omega square, look at this. Whenever you have b square equal to omega square, if I do the substitution and analysis, I get the amplitude is equal to this case. Now what happens here, if you look at the equation, okay, now as the t value, look here, as the value of t, time, as the value of time, it's not period, time, as the time is increased, as the time is increased, the value of p plus q2, second term, this is the second term, it is going to increase. The second term is going to increase. Do you agree with this? Why? Because it is in the linear part. Okay, so it is directly proportional to time. Therefore, y p plus q2 is increasing. Okay, it is increasing. Now, the question is, if t is increasing, p plus qt is increasing, therefore y is also increasing. That is true. Therefore, y is increasing. Okay, y is increasing. Andra time ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತಂದ್ರ p plus qt ಈ term ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದ, therefore y ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. True, but not for all time. This is for smaller values of t, smaller value of time. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ದೊಳಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ, ಈ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು y ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಈ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಏನೈತಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಟರ್ಮ್ e raised to minus bt, ಆನ್ ದ ಟರ್ಮ್ e raised to minus bt. ಈ ಟರ್ಮ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಐತೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಈ ಟರ್ಮ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಅದ, ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ನಾಟ್? ಬಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ is an exponentially decreasing. Therefore, I can write as time increases, time t is increasing, okay, e raised to minus bt is decreasing. Why is decreasing? Because the time is in the exponential part. Illi nodri, ee time enittala illi exponential dolage aiti ille. You are getting the point? You can see here, the time is in the exponential term, in the exponential part. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಐತಲ್ಲ, ಇ ರೇಸ್ ಟು ಮೈನಸ್ ಬಿ ಟಿ. ಸೊ ಮೈನಸ್ ಇರೋ ಕಾರಣ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರ, ಆಸ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್, the value of e raised to minus bt goes on decreasing. Therefore, we say it as an exponentially decreasing. What you say? We say it as an exponentially decreasing term. Got it? Clear? So therefore, e raised to minus bt is decreasing, So it is decreasing at a faster rate at a faster rate. At a faster. ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ P plus QT ಇದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು. We agree that it is increasing. But the second term, e raised to minus bt, this term is decreasing more faster than the second term. ಇದೇನೈತಲ್ಲ, this term is decreasing faster than the increase in p plus qt. ಈ term increase ಆಯ್ತು ಹೌದು, ಆದ್ರೆ it is overcome with a decrease in the value of e raised to minus bt. Therefore, e raised to minus bt is the main part of that equation, main part of the equation. You're getting the point. So therefore, the amplitude, though increases initially, okay, sorry, the displacement y increases initially, okay, later the amplitude, so I would write it like this. Okay, it increases initially because P plus QT increases over time. Okay, but increases initially, but later y, that is the amplitude, sorry, displacement, decreases very fastly or quickly in later time t. So therefore, why? Because of, I have to write the condition. What is the reason? Because of the factor e raised to minus bt. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಬಹುದು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ there is a damping factor, there is a exponentially decreasing function. So ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ the net is, therefore I can write the net is, therefore the oscillations die very quickly. Oscillations die off very quickly. You're getting the point. So quickly die ಆಗ್ತಾವ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ even it is faster than the over damping. It is faster than the first case. even I have to write it as even faster than the over damping condition. ನೀವು ಬದಲಾಗಿ ಏನು ಕಲಿತಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ faster ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ over damping condition. Okay, now here what you have to do here, if I plot a graph for this is the graph. Okay, this is the amplitude y, this is time t. Now first hakidde graph yav hakidde when b is greater than omega, first condition. So this is the graph you get. So this is the graph you get for the first case when b is greater than omega. Second case now graph hakidandre ಎಷ್ಟು fast ಆಗಿ decrease ಆಗುತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ it is even faster than the second one, first one. So the decrease in the graph is like this. Okay. So this is the case when b is equal to omega. So faster than the previous one. Example, I will give an example for this. Critical damping. So their example is the pointer in a voltmeter. Voltmeter or ammeter. Okay, instruments or other instruments or other pointer instruments. The pointer instrument. Okay, I request all the students to okay. Mute their mic. Hello students, kindly mute your mic. Okay. Okay. Now the pointer instruments in voltmeter are emitter. These are the examples which exhibit critical damping. Now, what is the meaning of this pointer instruments in voltmeter? You have seen the voltmeter. So I will just draw a simple diagram. So this is a meter. Okay, like this. Okay. These are the readings. Okay, in the meter like this. This is the meter you have. Okay. So they will calibrate it and they will write the scale. This is the scale on the meter. And there is a pointer. There is a pointer. There is a pointer. There is a pointer. That pointer is here. This is along the axis. Okay. This is along the so this is the scale and there is one pointer like this. This pointer is here. So it is lying on the x-axis like this. It may be lying here. Okay. Now as the current is passed through the pointer. So this is the connecting wires. Okay. Where you have to, this is the place where you have to connect the wires. Wire is connected to this point. As the current is flowing through the DC voltmeter or emitter, what happens? It will shift its position and it will point to a certain location. It is going to point to a certain location like this. It is showing the location like this. After showing the location, immediately it comes back to the original position. So this type of oscillations, okay, we call it as the critical oscillation. That means hardly there is any oscillation. You're getting the points. In this case, hardly there is any oscillation. Hardly there is any oscillation. Why? Because now look here, the pointer was at the point A initially. This is the zero position. Okay. What happens as you pass the current, the pointer will show the certain value of voltage or current. It will show a certain value of voltage or current. And after that, it comes back to its original position. Now here, it will not show any deflection. Deflection means it is going to show between this value and this value. No, it will not show. It will go to this position, come back to this. So this is actually the critical oscillations in that is exhibited in a voltmeter. Okay, so this is the second case. Keep in mind the critical oscillations, they die off very quickly when you compare with the first one. Okay, now so this is the second case. Go for the third one, that is the under damping. Very important. Usually they will ask either over damping or under damping in the examination. Over damping under damping okay, so go for the third case. What is the third case? Third one is the case 3. That is nothing but the under damping. Hope you have followed this, student. Critical damping. So the critical damping, the condition is B square is equal to omega square or B is equal to omega. This is the condition for B equal to omega. After doing analysis, you get the amplitude as y equal to e raised to minus bt into p plus qt. The value of y initially increases but later decreases very fastly because of the damping factor, which is decreasing in an exponentially decreasing manner. And if I plot it, you can see the graph. The value of amplitude decrease is faster even than the damping condition. Okay, and example is the pointer or voltmeter in an emitter. Pointer in voltmeter or in an emitter. Okay, go for the third one, that is the under damping. Okay, now on the look here. I will end this class at 11:45. Just note, students. Again, next hour, that is from 10:45 to 11:45. You have to again join me. Okay. I will end this meeting at 10:45. I will send the link to you. You have to again continue the class after 10:45. You'll have a break of 5 minutes. After that, you have to rejoin. Okay. We'll solve some problems on this. Go for the second one, that is the under damping. Okay. Third one, that is the under damping. So third one is an under damping. What is the condition? It is B square less than omega square or B less than omega. Okay. What is B? B is the damping that is present. Damping coefficient. Damping is lesser than angular frequency. Less than angular frequency. Less than angular frequency. Omega. That means damping is less. Is it not? Damping is less means damping is low. Damping is low. Low damping means low resistance, low frictional force. Frictional force ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ. One simple logic. ಈಗ ಒಂದು oscillation ಐತಾ ಹಿಂಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಯಾವುದು ಪೆಂಡುಲಮ್ ತಗೋರಿ ನೀವು ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಸರ್ ತಗೋರಿ. This is oscillating. ಹೌದಾ? ಈಗ ನಾನು ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ನಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕತ್ತೀನಿ ಅವಾಗ ಬರೀ ಏರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅದ. ಏರ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅದ ರೀ. So whenever there is air flow, it is oscillating for some time, say 5 minutes. It is oscillating and is coming to halt. If I add another damper in the form of a thick liquid, what happens? It will stop less than 5 minutes. Say it is going to stop at 2 minutes. Okay. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, for it is oscillating for 5 minutes if there is a no damping. If damping is low, so if I remove this liquid container that is present, okay, it is oscillating more. It is oscillating more when it is in when there is a liquid container. So if there is a damping, it will die quickly. When there is no damping, it is going to die off smoothly over the time. Gurtaita? Under damping andra damping kadime aiti, friction kadime aiti. Hauda? That means the oscillations will die off gradually. Very simple concept. The same thing is discussed here in mathematical form. Okay, got it? So here there is only one damper, airflow. Okay, there is no other damper. Therefore, it is oscillating for a long time, 5 minutes to 10 minutes. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಫ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಏರ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ನೀವು ತಂದಿಟ್ವಿ ಡ್ಯಾಂಪರ್, ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡೈ ಕ್ವಿಕ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ಆರ್ ಯು students, are you there? I don't know, nobody is responding. I am taking towards the laptop. Okay, fine.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is the case. First you write the equation for amplitude. Okay, equation for amplitude. What is the equation for amplitude? Y is equal to a1 into exponential of minus b plus root of b square minus omega square. Okay, I will write it here somewhere. So y is equal to a1 into exponential of minus b plus root of b square minus omega square into t plus a2 into exponential of minus b minus of root of b square minus omega square into t. So this is equation number 10 that we have discussed in the earlier classes. Okay. Now here, what is the condition? B is less than omega. So here b square is lesser, is low. That means frictional force is low. Low frictional force. Kadime frictional force aitanta. So b square is less than omega square. B square is less than omega square, or b is less than omega. Note. If b is less than omega, if you look at this term, ille b square minus omega square, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? The root of, therefore, root of b square minus omega square, since b is smaller than omega, it gives an imaginary term. It gives an imaginary term. Imaginary term. Imaginary term. It gives an imaginary term. Okay, so therefore this b square minus omega square is an imaginary term. Howda? Okay, so what we have to do is we have to do some simplification. So what is that? Let us go and do some simplification. We know that let root of b square, we know that b square minus omega square. Let us rewrite it as, I can write it this one as, okay, let root of b square minus omega square. I can write it like this. It is omega square minus b square. This is minus 1. Minus 1 into this. I can write it like this. Okay. What I have done, I have taken minus outside, so it is minus 1 into omega square minus b square. Okay, so it becomes same thing, b square minus omega square. Again, if I rewrite it, it is minus of root 1 into root of omega square minus b square. What is this root of minus 1? Root of minus 1 is nothing but I into, as it is, omega square minus b square. Therefore, I can write b square minus omega square. Therefore, b square minus omega square can be written as I into root of omega square minus b square. Okay. So this is the thing you have to remember. Okay. You have to, this is the thing you have to remember. Okay. So this is the thing you have to remember. Okay. So let this value of let root of omega square minus b square be beta. I have taken it as beta. So therefore I can write root of b square minus, I will write here, that implies here root of b square minus omega square will be equal to I times of beta. Will be equal to I times beta. So this is also the same thing kept in mind. You have to note it down. Root of b square minus omega square is equal to I times beta. Now here this I will take it as a certain equation I, or certain equation number A. Okay, I will take it as equation number A. Okay. Now you substitute this root of b square minus omega square, where in the equation 10 you have the b square here. You have b square here. Can you see here root of b square minus omega square? So you just substitute a here in root of b square minus omega. If I do the substitution, okay, it gives you what it gives you, y is equal to, therefore it gives y equal to, if I do the substitution, y is equal to a1. So put a equation a in 10 dolog hakri. So therefore y equal to, therefore y is equal to a1 into exponential of minus b plus I beta plus a2. Now look at this equation here, 10. I have to substitute b square minus omega square here, b square, root of b square minus omega square here, root of b square minus omega square here, with I times of beta, with I times of, you're getting the point. Iದೇನು I beta ಐತಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ರಿ. Okay, root of b square minus omega square. Okay, root of b square minus omega square. Okay, you have to substitute that. Okay. Got it. So you have to do the substitution. I'll substitute let us check it. Okay. So y1 is equal to e of minus plus root of b square minus, okay, okay, I'll write it here. So I'll rewrite the equation 10. Therefore this equation 10 can be written as root of b square minus omega square into t plus a2 into minus b plus minus of minus b root of b square minus omega square into t. Okay, so this is 10. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನೀವು, root of b square minus omega square ಇದೆಲ್ಲ I beta ಹಾಕ್ರಿ. Therefore y is equal to a1 into e raised to minus b plus I times of beta into t plus a2 into e raised to minus b minus of I beta into t. So this is the rewritten form of equation number 10. Okay. Now just simplify it on doing the simplification. Okay, now it is just a mathematical step. Therefore, y is equal to a1 as it is. You expand the first part, isn't expand madri. So you do the expansion of this part and of this part. So that will give you e raised to minus bt plus into e raised to I beta t plus a2 into e raised to minus bt into e raised to minus of I bt. So you know that e raised to x plus e raised to y is e raised to x into e raised to y. The same phenomena, the steps I have used here, it is e raised to x plus y. Okay, so just I have rearranged it. What I have done, I have taken t inside the bracket first, then I have done the explanation, simplification of that. Okay, hope you have followed this step. Okay. Now, again, just simplification here. E raised to minus bt, e raised to minus bt is common. Therefore, I write as e raised to minus bt common. Go for the first term. What is left over? A1 into e raised to I beta t plus a2 into e raised to minus of I beta t. Okay. Got it. Next. After that, you have y is equal to, rearrange it, y equal to e raised to minus beta t. Now, PUC kaltri, Euler's theorem kaltri, you learned Euler's theorem. E raised to I theta is cos theta plus I sin theta. Do you remember this equation? I into I means it is imaginary part. Okay. So it is imaginary I sin theta. Okay. So I'm using the same derivation, same entity here. I have e raised to I beta, here e raised to I beta. I can expand it here like this, a1 e raised to I beta. Beta means here it is theta. Therefore, I can write that first term cos theta, that is cos beta t plus I sine into beta t. This is the first part. Close this. Then go for second one, a2. You have e raised to minus I beta t. So that will give you cos of beta t minus of, now here it is minus, therefore it is plus or minus. Okay, like this. If it is minus, I have to take it as cos theta minus of I sin theta. Okay, so therefore it is plus minus. I have to write as, so it is cos beta t into I sin of beta t. Okay, rearrange it. Y is equal to e raised to minus b into t as it is. Now look here. A1 cos beta t, here this is A2 cos beta t. Now what I have done, I have taken A inside the bracket, A1 inside the bracket, A2 inside the bracket. When I take A1 and A2 inside the bracket, that will give you A1 cos beta t, A2 cos beta t. In both the terms, cos beta t is common. Therefore, I can write cos beta t common into A1 plus A2. This is the first term what you get. Plus, now look here, what is second term? Second term is I sin beta t. Preceding this, there is A1. So A I have already taken here. So therefore, it becomes A1 into I sin beta t. Here also it is A2 into minus of I sin beta t. Okay. So therefore, I can take I sin beta t common. What I can take? I can take I sin beta t as common, and it is A1 minus A2. This is what you get. Okay. Now again, I can still simplify it. Okay. Now here you do the simplification. Okay. I will put A1 plus A2. There is a reason why you are putting it like this. A1 plus A2 as equal to sine phi. Now, whatever the term you have, it's complementary. You have to add sine. Its complement is sine. Cos is there. You have to add sine there. Sine phi. Okay. And here I have sine beta t. Okay. So therefore, I will add I into. Okay. I will add I I into A1 minus A2 equal to, so here you have A1 minus A2, this is I. So I into A1 minus A2, I can write equal to cos phi. Either the n complement is very cos ಐತೆ ಅದು complement sin sin ಇಲ್ಲ ಐತೆ ಅದು complement cos. ಹಾಕಿ ನೀವು ಗುರುತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ತಲೆಗೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡ. Okay, so therefore y is equal to, if I do the substitution, that is equal to y equal to e raised to minus bt into cos of beta t. A1 plus A2 I can write sin phi plus I sin beta t, sin beta t as it is, I into A1 minus A2. What I have taken? I have taken it as cos phi. If I taken it as cos phi, if I rewrite it as, this will be given by, so I have just add here, it is not just A1 plus A2, it is small a times, this is small a times, okay. It is A1 plus A2, A cos sin phi, I into A1 minus A2 is small a into cos phi. So therefore here it is A, here also it is A, okay. Now in the next step, so what I will do is I will take this A outside, why it is common. So therefore I will write it as A into e raised to minus b into t. So this is cos beta t into sin phi plus sin beta t into cos phi. So therefore you get the equation as A, last equation, you won't get any equations after this. Therefore A is equal to e raised to minus b into t. This is the thing, but second term, this is the second term, I can rewrite it as, okay, this I can write it as, okay, I can write it as sine of beta t plus phi. Okay, this is what you get for the amplitude. Very important discussion. So this is the expansion. If you expand this, so you have sine of a plus b. This is the identity that you know. What is the identity? It is sine a into cos b plus cos a into sine b. So I am using this relation, sine of a plus b. This is sine of a plus b. Sine a plus b is sine a into cos b, cos a into sine b. So this is the equation that I am interested in. Now students, what you can do is, we will take a break. We have to analyze this equation. Okay, I will, you can leave the class. Before you leave the class, I have to take the attendance. I will take the attendance. I will again share the link. You have to rejoin it. Okay, for 15 minutes, I will take the class and finish it off after that. Okay. Okay, so if you have taken down this, it's okay. Otherwise, you can take it and I will share the link afterwards. Okay. So,
yes, sir.
Just a minute. I will take the attendance. I will take the attendance. Innum join agri na next class ige. Okay, adno na togotini. Before that, I have to take the attendance. Download the attendance. Okay, fine. So you students, you can leave the class and rejoin after 5 minutes. Okay, I will break. I'll take a break of 5 minutes and ask you to rejoin. Okay, thank you.